My name is Josh Bayne, and I'm the college director here if we've never met before. Would love to meet you at some point, and those are some of our graduating seniors in that video just then, getting me all up in my feels, but they mentioned it, but our vision as a college ministry is to be a home away from home. And by that I mean we want to be more than a once a month kind of place for you. It's why I'm always encouraging you to take some sort of step beyond just college nights, right? To come and make this your Sunday morning church home, to get involved volunteering, to join a small group, to do whatever it would look like for you to make this church like a home church for you, a home away from home for you. And that was my experience in college. So our church started my freshman year at Georgia, which was 2004, which shocked somebody earlier tonight when I told them that. But when I came to Athens, there was not a lot of exciting stuff to get into faith-wise, honestly. I came to Athens looking for something exciting, and there just wasn't a ton of options. Now there are tons and tons and tons of options, but our church started my freshman year, and I was just so excited about it. And I said, I would love to get involved doing music, and because I led worship in high school, and they said, cool, we like you. We don't really need you right now. Would you want to serve on the production team? And I said yes, and I loved every second of it. And then eventually we started a student ministry. We didn't have a student ministry. We started one, and there was literally 12 kids in a circle in a band room on the east side of Athens. No stage, no sound system, no nothing, just me and my acoustic guitar. It was really amazing. And they said, would you want to lead worship for that? And I said, sure. And then somebody else was leading worship, and they said, this person doesn't play guitar. Would you want to come play guitar? And I said, sure. And honestly, just between you and me, I'm currently 0 for 2 in Athens Church music auditions, but they let me lead the whole thing for 12 years, which is a lesson of perseverance for somebody, that if at first you don't succeed, just try to be the last person standing. But and it worked. And I've been around, literally, I remember, I was a freshman in college. Our church, before we ever had a service, I was sitting in a coffee shop with Sean C. and a group of other people. We'd never even had a service as a church, but he said, Athens doesn't need another church, but there's churches on every corner, but we need a different type of church, like type of church that we can invite our unchurched friends to. And I loved it, and I dove all in. And so for me, it was kind of easy decision. This past summer, I transitioned roles away from our music director role to become our church's first ever full-time college director, which has been super fun. And people ask me what my favorite part about that has been. And honestly, my favorite part has just been seeing you guys take steps to make this a home church too. Like, college nights are exciting. It's fun to, see everybody all in singing the songs, and Desi and them are doing whatever they do. And it's just super exciting in these moments. But for me, it's more exciting seeing you guys take steps beyond nights like this to actually make this a home church. And I just want to tell you, just first off, I know it's been like a super weird year trying to navigate how to do church in light of COVID, really just having to navigate, how to do life in general in light of COVID. But way to go, diving in anyways. That didn't stop a lot of you, especially freshmen. Honestly, I didn't think you guys were gonna commit to do anything. The way that your kind of senior year of high school kind of got pulled out from under you, but you decided to get in anyways. And to which I've heard a lot of you say, bro, it was the only thing I was allowed to do. Like UGA told me I couldn't even go to the dorm room next to me, but you're telling me I can come here, or I can go, go to somebody's back deck and do small group. But you didn't have to. And, I heard a story of a freshman girls' dorm who at the end of the hallway, they had this poster, and the poster said end game, E-N-D game. And it was kind of like how people take prop bets on when a baby's coming. It's like a baby shower. But this was end game, as in when is UGA going to send us home? And they're taking bets. They're I think it's going to be August 25th. Well, I think it's going to be August 31st. Well, surely let's get to Labor Day. And the girls are literally taking bets on when you're going to get sent home. Remember that? Nobody thought we were going to make it this far. People, we made it, right? But that was the climate you came in. I texted a freshman guy 2 weeks after school started. I said, man, how's it going so far? And he responded immediately. He said, honestly, even better than I would have imagined. And then he sent another text. He said, I just hope they let us stay. So way to go for getting involved and jumping in to be a part of a church and doing your best you can at college, even when it's weird. And I want to say thanks also for just your kindness to my family. As we've gotten to know you and you've gotten to know us a little better, a lot of people have, thrown out, offers to babysit for us. And I'll tell you the reason why I haven't taken you up on that yet is you don't want any part of that. Trust me. And just because I work at a church does not mean I have godly kids. And so I'm trying, it's for you that haven't said yes, but maybe, and I pray for them, and we've committed, we're going to visit them in prison, and we're, honestly, and it's why we send them to Wombley to help straighten, everybody out. But you have been really kind to us. And I want to say just thanks also briefly just to all of our small group leaders and adult volunteers, a lot of whom are here tonight. Can we give it up for them as well? volunteers, honestly setting up, tearing down things like the barbecue so that, so you guys don't have to miss nights like this and you can be in the room. Small group leaders open up their homes in the middle of a pandemic is just so wild. But we really do appreciate you guys, so thanks for doing that. Hey, tonight's message is going to be a short one. Congratulations. And it's not so much of a Bible study per se. We've done a lot of Bible study. We're in this series right now on Sunday mornings called The Bible for Grown-Ups. It's awesome, and we've only done one part, so if you come this Sunday, we'll get you caught up for sure. It's going to be great, and I hope you will come. But tonight is more like a family meeting, if you will. And Uncle Josh is here to lead the family meeting, but it's a good kind of family meeting, right? It's not like nobody's breaking up. It's not a bad family meeting, and everything's fine, and everything's fine with your siblings and all that. But I kind of want to just talk a little bit about kind of how it's been going, and then also dream a little bit about kind of what's ahead. And so the title of the message is this: Reflections and Resolutions. And specifically, I don't know if this is going to be weird for you, but I don't know, I noticed things in you. I've really just, in general, really enjoyed just getting to know you, by the way. But I want to just present to you 3 reflections or 3 observations that I see in your generation as I've gotten to spend time with you over the last school year. And really, it's 3 strengths. Honestly, it's 3 strengths I see in you. But as they say, your strengths are your weaknesses, unless you're Michael Scott, who says my weaknesses are my strengths. So however you roll. But I want to share kind of 3 reflections. But then I also want to share 3 resolutions, like 3 kind of action steps that are related to those, that if we do them, that if I do them, that if you do them, I think you'll get to the end of your time here in Athens, and I think you'll feel really good about your life, and I think you'll feel really good about your faith. Does that sound good? All right, here's what I'm talking about. So reflection number 1, I observe that you are hungry but hesitant. And I don't mean hungry like it's 2 a.m. and we want to celebrate and go get an omelet or pizza. I'm saying like in life in general, you are hungry but hesitant. I put in my notes, in your eyes, I see incredible optimism, but also like a lack of confidence. Like you want to change the world, you believe in making a difference, but you don't always believe in yourself. You're driven, but you doubt yourself. You're super ambitious, but you're also really anxious. We talked about this, right? You are simultaneously, let's see if this sounds like you, chasing success and running from failure. You remind me of Moses in the Old Testament. So I've been reading the Old Testament a lot in my quiet time. So Moses has this vision for how it's supposed to be. Moses, on one hand, I want to be the leader. On the other hand, I have absolutely no idea if I have what it takes. And first off, I just want to tell you, just as one older figure in your life, I believe in you guys. I believe in you. I believe you have potential. I believe you're already reaching your potential. I believe that you're smart. I believe that you lead from the heart. I believe that you care. I believe that you care about the right things. I don't think you're going to get everything just perfectly right all the time, but that's okay. The goal of life is not to be perfect. Perfection's not the goal. You know that, right? Perfection's not can we just say that out loud together? Perfection's not the goal. Perfection's not the goal. Doesn't that just feel just therapeutic saying that? Can we say that one more time all together? Perfection's not the goal. Now, I know you don't believe that, but I want to try to convince you of that. And this is really interesting. So about a year ago, these 2 guys, Martin Smith and Simon Sherry, did this whole academic study. They wrote this journal article, one of those scientific journal articles in the American Psychological Association. And the article is titled, Young People Drowning in a Rising Tide of Perfectionism. Sound familiar to anybody at all? Sound about right? All right, let's get into the article. They studied a sample, this is kind of a summary. They studied a sample of approximately 25,000 people ranging in age from 15 to 49, taking note of the increase in perfectionism over the years, right? Getting more and more perfectionistic. They concluded that today's younger generation is more perfectionistic than ever. Next slide. They suggest that this phenomenon may be fueled by everything from parents who are critical and controlling to boastful social media postings reflecting unrealistic images of other people living perfect lives. Sound like anybody you know? All right, let's keep going. Specifically, sore subject, wow. All right, regarding social media, Sherry and Smith wisely observe, I love this, that perfectionism is a myth and social media is a storyteller. In other words, we're playing this comparison game, but the game is rigged. And we say that perfection's not the goal. They would say perfection doesn't even exist, that it's not even real. Now, they're talking about the young people in the next part. Let's go to the next slide. Focusing on young people and the effects of perfectionism over time, Sherry and Smith conclude that aging perfectionists, appear to unravel. Yep, and we know some people like that. They note that perfectionists become more neurotic in the sense that they are more likely to experience negative emotions such as anxiety, guilt, and envy. Yep. They also appear to lose traits of conscientiousness such as reliability, organization skills, and efficiency. In other words, we feel like judged. Anybody, like, you just kind of feel judged all the time. And so we start to kind of spiral. Let's keep reading. The result? Sherry and Smith note that perfectionists may experience failure-related depression, stress, and even suicide. And that's just the pressure that comes, that's just the result of the pressure that we put on ourselves, right? From the fear of like failing ourselves and failure of letting ourselves down. And honestly, like you thought this was like high school version of you, right? High school version of you, all this pressure to finally get here, but now that you're here, the pressure hasn't really stopped. And that's just the pressure you put on yourself, not to mention the pressure other people put on you, which they say is even worse. They describe socially prescribed perfectionism as even more debilitating due to the perception of the expectations of other people, as they would call them, quote, excessive, uncontrollable, and unfair, making failure experiences and negative emotional states common. So we got all this perfectionism in the air. And is there any cure or is there any solution for that part of you that's so hungry, but like so hesitant? I love their finding. This is a secular science article. This was their finding. Sherry and Smith were able to define one antidote to the deadly epidemic of perfectionism: unconditional love. I love that. In other words, if you're here tonight, and these aren't even Christians saying this, these are just the scientists. They would say, if you're here tonight and you struggle with perfectionism, or somebody sent you this link, you're watching this or listening on the podcast later, you don't need to find more environments of life in your life where you have to earn it. You don't need to find more environments of your life where you're trying to compete, where you're trying to earn favor. Where you need to find is more environments of unconditional love. And I'll spare you the whole deal, but like, that's the gospel, people. Like, that's the message we preach, that you don't come in this door and have to act a certain way or clean yourself up to earn God's love. But the scriptures tell us that while we were still sinners, while we were still far away, Christ died for us. Christ died for the ungodly. So if you are here tonight and you're a perfectionist, your action step is very clear. And it leads us to our first resolution. Number one, in a culture of perfectionism, let's choose environments of unconditional love. In a culture of perfectionism where everybody's stressing out about this, always trying to earn it, never sure if they're good enough, let's choose environments of unconditional love. Why does a home away from home matter? Why are we always trying to offer that to you? Because sometimes you don't get into the grad school that you want to get into. And sometimes you're not what she's looking for. Or sometimes you're not what he's looking for. Or sometimes you totally blow it your freshman year. But you need people to love you anyways, because those things don't define you anyways. And the reason I'm always begging you to take a step beyond just coming to college nights once a month is this auditorium cannot love you unconditionally. But your small group can. Or your small group leader can. Or the people that you serve with on Sunday morning can, or the families or the parents that you serve on Sunday mornings can. So as we look forward to next school year, we look forward to the fall, if you don't have a small group, please join one in August. And if you tried one and it didn't work out, I want to encourage you to try one again. We talked about this before. You don't give up on burritos because you had one bad experience at Moe's, right? And who hasn't had one bad experience at Moe's in our lifetime, right? You come to college, you try bar burritos, you evolve. Ultimately, you it's all Chipotle all the time, right? You don't let the one bad experience, and if your parents work at Moe's, I'm sorry, or own Moe's. If they own Moe's, we're open to sponsorship opportunities. However, and we love them, and the queso is great. So I'm saying, but you, and maybe you're a high school here, or maybe this was your high school experience, your college student. You had one bad experience in high school, and you just decided you're never going to be in a small group again. Or you came to Athens Church. Athens Church is awesome, but sometimes the small groups doesn't work out. Right? And I've seen multiple people here tonight, not this Noah, but another Noah, a girl named Shelby, who I know, that was their story. They came, they tried a small group, it just didn't work out, it wasn't in the cards. They came back and tried it again, and God had something so great for them. So if you don't have a circle of people who love you unconditionally, You got to find one, right? If you're not serving, I really want to invite you to serve. We do this thing about 3 times a year called Backstage Pass. And Backstage Pass is where you go to learn how to get involved serving. You literally get to tour the whole church and see if one of the environments jumps out to you. This Sunday, is one of your 3 options all year to do that. You can go online or website. You can go to our Instagram bio, shout out Athens Church College on Instagram. And in the bio, there's a link to sign up for Backstage Pass. It's this Sunday. And if you're going to be around this summer and you're not plugged in, please come do that. Please at least, even if you're not sure if you're ready, don't have the time, come to Backstage Pass this Sunday and tour the environments and see if that might be something you do. How about this? If you're just looking for an excuse to drive back to Athens this summer once a week on the weekends, go to Backstage Pass, sign up to serve, right? Or maybe you know that it's not possible for you this summer because of where you're gonna be, but you want to do that in the fall. Go ahead and do Backstage Pass this Sunday. You can pick which service hour you want to, so you can do Backstage Pass at 9:15 and go to church at 11 or vice versa or whatever. But go ahead and do it now. You can kind of get plugged in and start learning and dive right in August. I want you to do that, right? These are things that are going to fuel your faith. Unconditional love is a powerful thing. One of the feelings that I want you to feel, and not just feel it, but really experience it by being a part of our church and our college ministry, is empowered. I want you to feel empowered to face all the battles that life faces you and to reach your full potential and leave Athens, kind of better than when you got here and move on to great things. But you can't empower yourself. Does that make sense? You've tried. That's what love does. Unconditional love is the most empowering force in the world. And so for anybody who's hungry but hesitant or struggles with that perfectionism, don't keep plugging yourself into places where you have to earn it. Plug yourself into a place where you will find unconditional love. All right, number 2, you turn up, but you tire out. You're like, I do turn up, actually. No, you turn up, but you tire out. And this is cool because I think sometimes your generation gets some sort of reputation for maybe you don't really commit to things very much. But my experience is that you commit to all the things, and that's why you people are so tired. And you know this, but more than I have heard you say that you are lonely, more than I have heard you say that you are anxious, I have heard you say that you are tired. And I blame this on FOMO, by the way, if you're over the age of 35. The FOMO means the fear of missing out, which you're like, yeah, that's exactly why I'm here tonight, right? I should be studying, but Bieber and barbecue, and here I am. Which, by the way, the Bieber girl is here tonight, so sorry for everybody else who wanted to win that. But that's why I'm here, FOMO, right? And there's all kinds of FOMO. There's academic FOMO, you know all about that. There's social FOMO. There's, unfortunately, romantic FOMO. And then in the Bible Belt, there's spiritual FOMO, right? So I got to just be involved in all the things. And I got to go to Atlanta last night because Maverick City was there. And I'm coming here tonight. And then Andy Downs is at Wesley tomorrow night. So I'm going to hit the Triple Crown and just do all 3 because I got spiritual FOMO. And I can't miss a single one of those things. And honestly, I believe this. This is why one of the great spiritual challenges of your generation is something as simple as setting boundaries. And you got to, or you're gonna burn out. I put in my notes, it's okay to have a night in your schedule with no plans. To which somebody in your head will go, no, it's not. No, it is. It is. So here's our second resolution. In a culture of burnout, where everybody's burnout, let's choose rest for the soul. In a culture of burnout, let's choose rest for the soul. In other words, you might need, and I just want to give you permission, you might need to do less next school year. This is a crazy idea. You might just need to get involved with one church or one campus ministry instead of all of them so that you're not burnt out. One of my favorite definitions of rest is allowing your soul to catch up to your body. And for some of you, you move so fast through life and so fast through your schedule, honestly trying to achieve in this culture of perfectionism, that your body's right here, but your soul's right here. And you need to let your soul catch up to your body. And you don't even need to wait till the fall. I meant to bring this book. Man, one of my favorite books is this book called The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry. And if you don't know it, look it up. John Mark Comer, huge man crush. I text him or email him every day trying to get him to come to College Nights. And John Mark, if you're listening, please come join us next year. But it's an amazing book. It's called The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry. And I have one in my office that I'll give to somebody later that I meant to bring. But he talks in that book a lot about rest. And you should look it up. Hot book right now, flying off the shelves. But in that book, he talks about a lot of different things, but one of the things he talks about that I think is pretty apt for us tonight is the idea of digital rest. Can I press in here? You know this maybe, but college students spend about 7.5 hours of your day on your phones. You're like, that's it? Just 7.5 hours of your day. Like you're supposed to sleep 8 hours a day and you're on your phone 7.5 hours a day, which means you're spending the other 16.5 hours of your day charging your phone so you can run it back the next day, right? And I know it's how we stay connected. And I know it's how we stay informed. But it's also how we stay isolated. And it's also how you stay insecure. So I know you don't feel great about the amount of time you spend on your phone. I don't. I don't feel great about the time you spend on your phone. No, I don't feel great about the time I spend on my phone. But what I'm saying is, as one of your pastors and somebody who cares about you, like if you need rest in your life, do whatever it takes to get the rest. Like set some boundaries, dial it back, whatever you need to do. And maybe it's not digital, I don't know what it is. Maybe you just need to sleep. Like if you need sleep, get some sleep. If for you, your rest is like you need to get out in nature more, like get out in nature more. Maybe for you, like it is like being less isolated and more connected with friends. Like do that. The world's slowly getting back to normal. I want you to do that. I want you to do whatever it takes in this culture of burnout to choose rest for the soul. You don't have to be as tired as you are. And lastly, number 3, and this is my favorite one. I tell people about this, you guys, all the time. This is my favorite thing about you. That you would rather be hot or cold than lukewarm. My generation, totally cool being lukewarm. Absolutely fine to just put it on the front, play it down the middle. You guys are far too authentic for that. I'll never forget about a year ago when I was first getting started in this role. We had a girl on Sunday morning telling her baptism story, just like Noah's video. And she said in the video, I came to college and I need to decide. Am I either going to go all in or all out? So I decided to go all out. And this is in the video. And I'm like, wait, what? And she ends up telling the story about how, God didn't actually let her do that, which ironically enough was my wife's story as well. Came to Georgia, wanted to kind of leave faith behind, party. She was a Delta Zeta, you know how they do. Sorry. And, sorry. I mean, she's a turtle. It is what it is. She's very involved. We could go down the line. We could just name all the, Greek people if we want to. Honestly, I love the Greeks, and I've just opened up a whole can of worms that I didn't mean to. And honestly, here's what we've done. Okay. Let's do this. Email me, sean.c@athenschurch.com. Send me an email and talk about it. Can we talk about this? Just side note, this is me going off script here a little bit. I think we're the best church in Athens for the Greek community. Sorry, I do. Thank you for the 2 Greek people here tonight. No, I don't think that we're like, I'm just gonna be real with you. I don't think we're the best church. Everybody, there's plenty of people that hate Athens Church. It's too loud, it's too whatever, I don't know. Some people think we're shallow. I don't think we're shallow. I think we're crazy deep. Andy Stanley does these messages. I don't want to apply half the things he's saying. They're super deep. But I think we're the best church in Athens for the Greek community. I really do. Because we're an authentic place, and there's a lot of real things they struggle with. And it was awesome, man. My wife, I hope I can tell the story, she doesn't mind. She was a Delta Zeta, and we got some DZs in the house tonight? You're gonna love this. You're going to love this. Not everybody in DZ at that day really was following the Lord, you could say. Not like it is now, as you know. But she would do these things on Friday night. This is so emotional. Why am I about to cry? Sorry, this is really powerful. She would do these things. This is so cheesy what I'm about to say. She would do prayer parties. She'd go, hey guys, I'm going to have a prayer party. And if anybody wants to come up to the room, this is her sophomore year, to live in the house. I'd love to pray for you. She just felt like there's a lot of darkness. This is really powerful for me. I don't know why. We're just going off script. She just felt like there's a lot of darkness that the Greek students experienced, and she wanted to be light. And you would not believe the number of students who took her up on it. I believe we're the best church in Athens for the Greek community because I think we're authentic. I think we can help them. So if you're here in Greek, I love you. That being said, she was a DZ. So, but God didn't let her live the party life that she wanted to live. And that was the same story of the girl in the baptism video. But she had decided, she knew something about coming to college, something about your generation. I either need to be all in or all out. And she decided. I love that. So I grew up in church, and we heard this Bible verse, Revelation 3:16, which is not as heartwarming as John 3:16. And Revelation 3:16 was it's a Revelation verse. It's a God figure talking to one of the churches in Revelation. It said, because you are lukewarm and neither hot nor cold, I will spit you out of my mouth. That was like a warning for my people. But your generation, you totally get that. And my theory is because you grew up on Starbucks. And Starbucks, as you know, it's either hot or cold. They don't serve any drinks lukewarm. Nobody's going through the drive-thru going, hey, I'd like a grande pumpkin spice latte, lukewarm. It's like, what? Actually, yeah, can I place the order on my app at noon, but maybe come pick it up at 4, so it's perfectly lukewarm? Nobody does that. Nobody's ever asked me, have I ever tried a Frappuccino warmed up in the microwave, right? No, do I look like a psycho? Nobody's ever done that, right? Like you either pick, it's either hot or it's cold. And I love that your generation views your faith that way. No games, just decide. And some of you decided cold. Maybe you are a high school senior checking us out tonight for the open house and you've kind of already made up your mind that's gonna be your plan. Or maybe you just kind of drifted there, right? A lot of us, maybe this was us or people we knew, a lot of people that were kind of red hot in their faith in high school, but just kind of drifted, just kind of apathy now. And if that's you, you have picked the perfect night to be here, perhaps the perfect night to come back to the faith that you once had. So here's our last resolution of the night. If we got to pick, in a culture of apathy, let's choose red hot, all in love for Jesus. In a culture of apathy, let's choose red hot, all in love for Jesus. As you stare down however many days or weeks or months or years you have left in Athens, I want to invite you to choose hot over cold. And if you're a high school senior, I'm always encouraging incoming freshmen to just try it for one semester. Maybe you already planned, like you're gonna do like the girl in the video did, like my wife was gonna do. And you were gonna kind of put faith on pause for 4 years. I wanna encourage you, I wanna invite you to give Jesus one semester and then decide at Christmas. Because you have no idea what he wants to do in your life these next 4 years. You have no idea. We've got some freshmen here who, 9 months into college and God has already done more in their life than they would have ever thought. You have no idea what he wants to do in your life. I can't stop thinking about this idea right here. What if Athens was where you came to see your faith get lit up for 4 years and not lost? What if Athens, Georgia, what if that was something we were known for? That this was the place that you came to see your faith get absolutely lit up for 4 years. Noah said in his baptism, that stat, like 70% of Christians go to college and lose their faith. What if we had the opposite stat? What if that was something our town was known for? Something in the water, something in the air, I don't know what it is. But 70% of the people who go to college in Athens, Georgia, their faith actually gets better. They actually leave college, more on fire for God than when they got there. I've seen that. Like that's why I wake up in the mornings to see that in you. That's why our church exists. I would love for you to tell the story when somebody asks you how your college career was. How was college? Well, it was cool. We went to some parties, and the Delta Zeta one was great, especially, and they're really godly now. And we, Lord willing, we won a couple national titles. But more than anything, my faith got absolutely lit on fire. And I didn't even know if that was what I was going to expect because I'd heard it was a party town, and my brother went there, and my sister went there, and I didn't even know if I wanted to go there. But my faith got absolutely lit up. I want that for you. I want to see you red hot, all in for Christ. And I know not everybody wants that. Jesus said it's a narrow road and not everybody wants to go down it. But that doesn't stop me waking up every single day trying to talk more and more of you into. Honestly, I'm more lit than I was when we started. Not literally, like it's figuratively, spiritually, more lit right now, tonight, than I was when we started this year. And I'm lit about where we're going. We don't do college nights in the summertime. Sadly, it's 4 months till we do this again. However, we are going to do this thing in June. I'll tell you about this. This is cool. Called College Summer Gathering. And you can't see the dates. It's kind of dark. But starting on June 8th for 4 straight Tuesdays, June 8th, June 15th, June 22nd, June 29th. We're just going to gather together, as many of y'all that want to come up here at the church, and just try to grow our love for God. We're going to do this thing called College Summer Gathering. We're going to invite some of y'all to help speak and lead some of the music. But honestly, we're just going to talk about, because Jesus said, hey, we asked them, or the disciples asked them, what's the greatest thing you could do to, in your life? What's the number one thing? And he said, honestly, just love God with all your heart, your soul, your mind, your strength, red hot, all in, love your neighbor as yourself, you'll be great. So we're going to spend 4 weeks, 4 straight Tuesdays this summer, talking about what does it mean to love God with all your heart? What does it mean to love God with all your soul? How's that different from your heart? What does it mean to love God with all your mind? Some of y'all are way too smart for your own good. You're going to love that week, right? What does it mean to love God with your strength? We're going to talk about it. If you're in town, I hope you'll come to all those. If you're not, I hope you'll drive back for some of them, right? I can't wait. I can't wait for this fall, right? August 24th, fall kickoff, cannot get here soon enough. September 14th, honestly, think about it all the time. October 5th is going to be great. November 9th, can't wait. December 7th, first ever, College Nights Christmas. I've been listening to Christmas music all the time. I'm fired up. Any Christmas people in the house? But come on. Don't live off of my fire. Don't live off of Desi's. We all probably could, right? Don't live off of your small group leaders or your small group. I want to invite you to choose for yourself in a culture of apathy. Let's choose red, hot, all in love for Jesus. Honestly, he loves you way more than you could ever love him. So maybe it's just a prayer like, God, give me a desire for you like the one you have for me. Some of you are here and you're like, I don't know how to do that because my life just feels dry and just feels stuck. And I feel like, I can't picture myself on fire for Christ like you're talking about. I can picture you on fire for him. Adam, Kirsch, and I were talking not too long ago about the story of Elijah, this prophet in the Old Testament, Elijah, who they're sort of battling. It's like an old school rap battle, the first ever one. But it's them and this other group of religious people who they worship another god, which is a false god, which, by the way, all the other gods are false gods. That's one thing we learn in the scripture, which is great. But they had this deal, and Elijah told him, he said, all right, hey, if your God's a real God, like build an altar, invite him to send the fire down, just light up your altar. All day long. Literally all day long, they're trying to do it. And honestly, we shouldn't do this, but Elijah's like making fun of him. They're kind of mocking him. They're kind of taunting him. And then Elijah does something crazy. He invites some of his guys to take these huge jugs of water, 4 jugs of water. He says, hey, I want y'all to put it on the altar. Make it basically impossible for it to light up. Okay, they pour the water on there. He says, now do it again. They do it again. He says, now do it again. And a third time, they flood the altar, 4 huge jugs. And the scriptures say that the altar is literally overflowing with water. It should be impossible for it to light up. And Elijah, who knows that God is God, that his God is the only God, and his God can do anything, he says, all right, God, time for you to show off. And he does, and he lights it up. And I've come here to tell somebody tonight that your life feels like Elijah, and you got a lot of good reasons for why he should never be able to turn your life around. But I'm here to tell you, and Noah's story is here to tell you, that he can. That he can. So tell him. Pray it to him. We're going to sing this song to close our time. It's been a bit of a kind of a theme song for our church this year, at least this semester. It's called God of Revival. And when we sing this song, we'll all stand up in a second. And when we do, I don't want you to just like take in the song. Like sometimes we just like take in the song. This is really cool and really pretty. They're really good singers. But I don't want you to take the song in. I want you to actively participate in this song. And I want you to use it as a prayer. And we're going to use it as a prayer to invite God to literally bring revival to our town. I mentioned how when I first got to Athens, there weren't a lot of exciting faith things. So not a ton. Now there's so many amazing churches, right? So many incredible campus ministries, right? And I asked somebody recently at lunch, I said, why is that? And they said, we were sitting at Grindhouse having burgers. And the guy said, honestly, he said, there were people in Athens in the 80s and 90s praying for God to do revival in the 2000s. Maybe that's why. So we joined with them tonight and asked him to do more in the years to come. But come on, it's got to start here. And it's got to start with you, and it's got to start with me. So I want you to actively use this song to invite God to do a revival work in you. That's called renewal. Renewal is when revival is made personal. He wants to do that. In other words, he wants to make you new. So I want to invite you to actively use this song. I hope the roof pops off this place. And honestly, I love the line, and then we'll close. I love the line in the chorus of the song. It says, the darkest night, you can light it up. You can light it up, God of revival. And when we get to that part of the song, you'll look around the room. There can be a lot of people with their hands in the air. And if you're new, those are not people with a question, right? It's not yes in the back, hello, you. No, those are people who are going, God, do that in me. Like, come awaken this city. Come awaken your people. But like, let it start right here. In a culture of apathy, I'm choosing red, hot, all in for the God who chose the same thing for me. So let's make it our prayer. Can we stand up together? I want to pray for you. God, we got, I don't know, many hundreds, maybe 1,000 perfectionists in the room tonight. I pray they go to sleep tonight knowing that they're unconditionally loved. I pray that you would show them outlets to choose that, to choose environments of unconditional love. I'm staring at so many tired people. I pray would you just breathe your rest on them. Give them rest in this season. And we're staring at a campus that's full of apathy, who honestly doesn't always want to wake up and follow you. And I pray we would leave tonight more convinced than ever how much we want to follow you. I pray we would not hold anything back in this moment. And God, I pray right now, in this moment, in this song, in personal, specific ways, the darkest night, come and light it up. Come and light it up. Speak to us personally. Awaken something in our hearts. Your scripture calls it an imperishable seed. Would something be born tonight in our hearts that never dies? That never dies. New eternal life. In Jesus' name, amen.